Hello and welcome to We Hate Skill Windows, the premier skill windows podcast about Honkai Star Rail. My name is Rai, and today I'm joined by
Um, the Chris.
yes, and the Chris here knows all about Murata Himiko. Please go ahead.
Murata.
That's apparently
Oh,
her full
oh,
name. I
oh,
didn't
the
know that
person
either.
who's related. That you mean that one related to the Luke?
Oh yeah, they've got red hair, right? Also, by the way, the one I was referring to apparently is so in Third Impact, this is a tangent, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Today we're reviewing Heavenly Inquisition Sword. Reason why we're
Oh,
talking about Star Rail here is because uh not
they
really
both start
because,
with
but
H.
yeah, Himiko and Heavenly Inquisition Sword. Main character's got red hair though, so he's clearly related to the Fire Archon or something. That's what Twitter told me. But Himiko in Third Impact has a form called the, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, the Arctic Kriegmesser? Anyway, she's got that form. That form was like a 4-star form, and it sort of sucked, like ability wise compared to the 5-star forms, I feel. It might have been a 5-star. But anyway, it gave her like like a ice shield, ice greatsword. And I swear to God, that was the best game feel, like gameplay experience I had in Third Impact. It was so incredibly good to play, even on a shitty little phone that I had. It it felt so nice, and that's it. I sort of hoped when
Oh,
I saw Himiko in this game, I was like, oh, do you have that form? No, she's just fire this time. So that's unfortunate. I never really cared about Welt in Third Impact. It was just like more of like a sort of like vague background character, I feel. Hey,
mm,
Rania, there's like the sword girl, something May, Raiden May.
right then. Oh, oh,
Anyway, let's talk about the thing we should talk about. Uh, Heavenly Inquisition, Kimiko. That's the thing we're reviewing, right? Uh, so as always, Heavenly Inquisition Sword. A brief intro. A young man. He's hated by his clan because he's the legitimate son. Yep. And his abusive stepmother locks him away in a warehouse and mistreats the fuck out of him because his dad's dead. One of these days, he manages to escape into the forest where he's found by a group of weirdly welcoming bandits and they become his surrogate parents and family. It's heartwarming, damn it. That's about it. It's like if you've read Legend of Northern Blade, it's basically that. If you haven't, then I'm so sorry for your loss. Legend of the Northern Blade is very, very good. You should go and read that. But anyway, it's just sort of like a story of a Murim warrior getting started on his path without actually being invested in the Murim side of things. He's just sort of like a bandit. I like the twist so far, but I hear that Chris may not enjoy this one, so I'm ready to defend my honor. If you'd
oh.
like to go ahead. Come on, please.
You
Don't
know,
hold back.
I, I,
Get on it,
I
please.
liked the main character a lot. Just the story, the dynamics
I
of
don't
the
know.
main
First thing I
character.
heard was I like the art, and I was like, the art's always good, man. It's not a good thing to start with. When you say I like the art, it basically means the story was shit, but I liked the art, so I kept reading. That's how I feel, at least.
Uh, well, I kind of liked the character. I think the the early chapters skipped, like they cut out way too much of kind of like the development because they kind of just showed like a couple scenes of the main character and the bandit, but I feel like they could have shown some like truly wholesome stories.
I swear
And
to
instead we
God. you, you always. I. Yeah. Now, granted, okay, this one has more scenes than Doctor's Rebirth. But how much do you want? You want like 60 chapters worth of just wholesome nothing? Where's the
no,
plot
I
gone?
want
No, it's
like
not there. Like, do you want. I
they
assume
don't
for the
have to be like
novel it's
slice of the
there.
line, but I thought there would be like an actual
I
like
got the
a
feeling that these
story.
guys were way more wholesome than. I feel I really enjoyed this one. He found a whole other family. It's
And
neat.
yeah, there were like stories later where you kind of see them going back together and it's nice and wholesome, I guess. But in the beginning, it definitely felt like they really just cut to like a family. And it's kind of it's not necessarily like the worst thing ever, but it did feel a bit like they skipped some of the best parts of the story.
Pretty sure they also had a time skip.
I know that that
So
time skip was just the MC getting his BS powers. I've
it was
it's
cutting
whatever.
out the unnecessary child bit, okay? That's what it was doing. Do we really want to have another one where we watch the kid fucking grow up and that's like every single chapter? Do we want another
I
existence? I
mean,
don't. I might be biased. I don't really enjoy it when it's just like a person growing up like fully throughout. It's like reading what was that one? You recommended it to me a while ago. Yeah, a few years ago at this point. Uh the the day after the end or something. You know what I'm talking about?
oh, that horror. Okay, beginning after the end.
Uh-huh,
Oh
yeah,
my
that one.
god.
Oh, that horror. Oh, now you're saying horrible, huh? I feel like you
Well, I
recommended it to me.
always said that was bad. I only recommended it because it was a power fantasy, and I thought you'd like
I didn't. It was bad.
it.
We should review that one. It doesn't even have
Too
a card
long.
like webtoon comic version. I don't know, but that one's pretty horrible. Like, did you ever want to read like a Western take on a power fantasy? Yeah, well, there you go.
Is that really Western?
It is. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
frick.
it's written by like a American or like I don't know, someone with an English name, not like a Korean or Japanese or Chinese author. That's how you know they're Western, surely. Uh, unless
Or the
they're like,
author's Turtle Me, but I mean, Baker's name is Hide on Bush.
oh, hold on. I could have sworn this was written by the beginning. Am I wrong? Like usual? Yeah, Turtle Me. That clearly Western. Fuck. I'm wrong. Fuck. God damn it. They've got like a Korean name. God damn it. How do I shit on it now? Fuck. No.
Apparently, they went to Berkeley, so they might be
Maybe they're just
American.
like Western influenced. I don't know. The
But they,
thing just feels so Western to me. But no, apparently his name is Tae-ha Lee. So never mind, I guess.
Turtle Me, Tehali. That's not, no, never. They don't sound like.
They don't sound that.
They just start with a T.
Yeah, they both start with a
End with.
T. Oh yeah, it's definitely very. I don't know. Hold on. Apparently in a QA, he said, "Growing up, I read a lot of Western epics. So I appreciate that modern day type of progression fantasy, as we call it. Progression fantasy, huh? Not power fantasy.
That's a weird way to say power
That's a
fantasy. Yeah.
strange way of saying progression. Why progression fantasy? Is that what power fantasy is called in the West? where the main characters get stronger progressively and shown through arcs. Isn't that just power fantasy though? If they're already strong?
Who knows?
But he's apparently been
That's
writing this for the
romantic.
last 6 years.
Oh, frick.
Damn. Apparently in yeah, November 28th, 2022, he did his first like face reveal. Oh, so we wouldn't have known who he was. I could have shit on him harder during the time frame. And I sort of feel bad now.
Oh,
Oh boy. I almost feel bad now. Except I don't. Your novel's still sort of shit. I don't enjoy it. I There's a variety of reasons why. If you've read the thing, you may have your own mixed feelings on it. I particularly do not like the dynamic between Gray and the other people tied by his fate, okay? I don't like it. It sucks. I don't like that his like former best friend who got betrayed or whatever has decided to do the same fucking shit but like worse this time. I don't understand. It's like spoilers. This is like major spoilers. It's fine. Yeah, I don't like it, okay? Oh God.
ooh,
Looking at these reviews of the book on Google, and they're like, it's the best manhwa I've ever read. It feels like Mushoku Tensei. Fucking damn. I've reread this 5 times and it still delivers. Wow. How are these reviews so good for it? I
they're
swear.
crazy.
That doesn't feel right. Did they not read the whole thing? Hold on,
Oh,
hold on. The best review I see right now, a year ago. The beginning after the end is the best manhwa ever that I've read so far. Though in the beginning it felt like Mushoku Tensei, the deviation is amazing and didn't matter anymore. Honestly, it felt better than reading Solo Leveling. This is honestly a masterpiece. They use honestly a lot. And the manhwa, don't even get me started with how manhwa is amazing it is. Okay, maybe just bad grammar. The art fantastic, the pictures so mind-blowing with chills that run down my spine with how the MC handles certain things. Ah, I'm going to die if internet shuts down in the world? What? Wait, what? I could keep saying more, but time doesn't allow me to continue. I really rate this masterpiece highly and would give it 200 stars if I could. That's how we're starting this off, huh? I I disagree.
that time I got reincarnated as a 200-star novel.
I think Solo Leveling's still better than not Mushoku Tensei than the beginning after the end. I can't. I haven't read or watched Mushoku Tensei. I still can't give an opinion on that.
Mm.
I think, personally speaking,
Mm.
Omniscient Reader is the best one,
Mm.
and that's apparently a real hot take as well. Because oh boy, when we did that episode, you just sort of shit all over it, and I was like, you're not wrong. You're fuck, man. Why are these all so positive? Fuck. This series stands as one of the best fantasy novels out there. The best fantasy
Mm.
novels. What? What? How? You were out here being like, this novel changed my life. What? I don't understand. The more I read this, the more I hated it. Did you like this one?
Well,
Or actually, you said it was bad.
well, I only read 9 chapters of it, so I don't even know if I can comment on like these people. They
You
read the
only
entire
read
thing.
9 chapters? I read up until like, I don't know, like at some point I stopped reading it. But I read pretty far. I read to the point where for people who did read it, like up until where Gray uh I don't know. This is like a vague spoiler because I don't remember either. But Uh, Gray has like a fateful encounter at the academy where his loved one gets taken away by his like best friend that he thought he made a genuine best friend, but turns out it's his like old isekai before isekai friend who felt betrayed by him, and he's decided to ruin and fuck up his life in this one as well. It's like, why couldn't you have let this go? Why is this plot so contrived? This is the best thing you've ever read? Listen, have you read The Lone Spellcaster? I have.
Oh no.
You know, this
Oh,
perhaps is the best thing you've ever read. A novel that was brought to me
no.
that brought me to unique world building, unique character names, unique power concept. Okay, and this is just incorrect. Are you talking about unique character names as if just because they use like English names?
Arthur.
Ray. Wow, it's unique, guys. I I The book is captivating and electrifying, one of the best I've ever read. I man, I I'm I'm starting to feel convinced that if I just make a novel, it doesn't even have to be terribly good. Maybe I just keep publishing it and eventually it'll be known as super good. Maybe 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 we're just consuming too much trash. You know, even trash does well these days. I should just put more tropes into my story. Mine's not even an isekai. It's it, it's not even a regression story. Mine's like a future regression story. The one that I'm trying to write at least. But maybe I'm deviating too far from the norm. Maybe I should just make a regression story. It's what sells, apparently. Why deviate when you can just write more filth when people enjoy the filth, right? Anyway, this is a salty tangent. Salty because it's it's got a 4.9 rating out of 300 ratings. It has like maybe one or two bad reviews. Don't how?
The only people who read it to the very end and could actually rate it are the people who enjoy this type of story.
I I don't know if even all these people went through it all. I searched by 1 star rating. There's apparently none. Oh, this is only for book 8.
8? It's
Book
got 8
8.
books?
I don't know what.
Dang.
Hold on. Vision of the and Ascension. Book 8. Hold on. Is this not for the main book? It's a 9 book series.
Dang.
Hold on. Book 9 review. Is book nine's review worse? No, it's the same shit. It's still good. Fuck, why? No. You cannot tell me you still enjoy it at book 9. It it just gets more shit. I internationally acclaimed though. Blending elements of Western and Eastern literature. Fucking damn. Ah, I don't know.
Oh, good.
I liked it up until a good amount. I really did. But it just it felt shit at the end. But uh these reviews are still really good apparently. These people have read all 9 installments back to back. Huh. Thrilling Run. Another great addition to the saga. Best series ever. What? Uh, what? Okay.
Changed my life.
Legit. Like, most of these are like, it changed. What? I. Huh? I don't understand. I really. I. What? These all have really solid reviews too. Oh my god. What the fuck? I'm literally baffled. When I read this, and maybe I should read it again just to like look over it more. When I read this, I I remember being shit. But I also may not like the trope. I like, for example, I don't like the trope where you get like isekai or reincarnated and you just sit through their life, which this one did. Just sort of had to watch the kid grow up again. And I was like, I don't like this. So maybe that was one of the reasons, but there's also a lot of stuff that happens, I think, around Book 8, Book 9, where people are praising it and saying it's the best series in the world, where things get sort of fucky with his reincarnation buddies, basically. I don't enjoy that story arc. It also gets, like, unnecessarily gory, I feel. But apparently, it's the best series, and you should go read it. And maybe we should review it and shit on it more. I feel bad though. The author seems like a genuinely nice guy. I just did not enjoy it. But apparently I'm wrong because everyone else in the world enjoyed it. Like 5,000 people rated it, said it was good. So, well, I guess it's good now. Wrong. Anyway, Heavenly Inquisition Sword is
Ugh.
not like beginning of the end or whatever. Beginning after the end. I feel that Heavenly Inquisition Sword is just solid. But I am
Yeah.
apparently biased. The art's good, yes, but also like I
That was
liked the
good.
story. I liked the character dynamics. I liked the main characters' not inherent OP powers. Like
What do
he
you mean?
didn't. Uh, okay, like like he's OP, right? But
Yeah.
he didn't like just
He beat an Elder Clan's
yes.
master
But then they learn from
after
each other,
swinging a stick in a room for 10 years.
right? But you've got to remember, this is one of those where he like was
Mhm.
trained by some shitty bullshit method while in the warehouse.
And then he's never lost a fight ever.
No, he lost many fights to his fucking siblings when they bullied him. Okay,
Okay, okay. No. He's got a tragic backstory
he
that
does
never comes up again.
so far, but we
Okay,
know
yeah,
his
so far.
brothers are alive.
That's true. They
They
came back
will
in like one panel in the middle after he's like swung his like dragon claw thing.
no more particularly. Hold on, more particularly. They explicitly were like, "Oh, hold on, isn't that the clan technique of this thing? Oh no, they haven't been relevant for X amount of time," which implies that the clan's fallen off, but news will still travel at some point to them and they might still realize that he's alive. I feel
Yeah.
like, personally, this is a good setup to tie them in, pull them in later. But apparently you're just like, oh yeah, what fucking one mention. But I feel like that's good. But apparently I'm learning that our criteria is widely different. And ah, man, pain. Well, let's complain like we usually do. Which is probably you, I think.
I
'Cause
just think they
I
had
have I have too many good things to say about this one. So go ahead.
they set up a, a fairly interesting dynamic in the beginning,
Uh
and then they just kind of abandoned
huh. It, I couldn't tell you why I like it so much. Maybe it's because I've read similar ones. Like I keep saying, The Legend of the Northern Blade is quite similar. Uh, as in, wait, have you read The Legend of Northern Blade? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. It's quite similar. Legend of the Northern Blade. It's like this guy. He's the sole heir of like his father's martial arts, where his father was like one of the best clan leaders of all time or whatever. Within the Murim. And he he's like beaten up because I don't remember why exactly, but like basically his clan got overrun and betrayed by some amount of people, and yeah, he's like also traumatic backstory, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then something happens. I'm not gonna try to spoil that because I genuinely think it's a good story. And he's able to escape, but in the process, um, just has to like start over. And yeah, it doesn't come up for like a good like how many chapters of Northern Blade are we on? Well, it doesn't come up for a good like 50, 60 chapters, I think. But at some point, we go back and we still talk about the people that betrayed his family, and he actually does start like doing stuff with that. It's just the flow of the story. You can't expect them to like cram that shit in there. Like,
So I feel like there's a difference when like you've
uh-huh.
been betrayed and then you go back and then you learn some stuff and you come back and you confront your betrayers. I think it's when in the beginning, so like they introduced like the girl, the brother, and then they're all kind of like kids. And then the girl's like, "Oh yeah, I'll protect you forever." And then he got trapped in a house for 10 years and then he left.
Yeah, and then she like forgot about him probably.
Or she didn't. Like she came back randomly like a little bit afterward and then she's like, "Someone lived here." Oh my God. But like they they tried to introduce like a family dynamic where they had like reasons for the mom being so angry, for the kids being so afraid of the mom, and then they kind of just abandoned like all of this character development.
I am of the belief, unfounded of course, that at some point there will be an arc, probably after this whole Green Forest Summit thing, uh, where that actually comes back into play.
I think that yeah, it would make
We just
sense
haven't
if
gotten there yet.
it would if they went back to it, but I don't know if they'll keep all of that original like they've already established a lot of character relationships between them, like interpersonal character relationships. Usually when someone goes back, like you then you get like the dump story back, but like here they like started a story and
Right.
then they just left it. Like it wasn't just like a premise, like, oh, he got betrayed by his family and then he got reincarnated and now he's going back to the family. Like here they actually like they started building up all these like relationships between the characters. We learned a lot about the family, and then the story got dropped.
I don't think the story got dropped. I feel like it did like a
Well, it just didn't
180
get
twist,
continued.
which was cool because
The
that's
180
rare.
twist being he got trapped in a house and then he left.
No, the 180 twist being that he just left. He got out of the trapped place.
That wasn't a twist. He was abused.
Usually these kids just die and then they get reincarnated. That's usually the twist.
Okay.
His twist is he didn't fucking die. Usually the twist is like, oh, I was like mistreated and like hated by my life, and I lived into like exile until my mid 30s where I got poisoned by eating a chicken leg. and then I got reincarnated into the body of like a young noble in China. Like it's usually some shit like that, you know? I feel like usually if they're in prison like that, they don't actually live. Or if they do, I guess they do. Like Crazed
It was
Heir, didn't he just he was sort of like forced into that position. His fucking original body died there. They don't escape
yeah.
that shit. Usually you like reincarnate into the body or something. This one is purely willpower, really. I admire it for that.
Uh,
I feel like that's a good twist. The good
most of it
twist, Chris, is that
willpower.
he's
The
found a
mirror kind
loving
of was like
family,
he
damn it.
pointed out.
The good twist is that he's not abused anymore. God fucking damn it. Oh, listen.
I do like the family dynamic.
I
They're
enjoy
wholesome.
that they have a happier family than what he started out with. Perhaps this is me
No,
empathizing too
I
much with the
completely
character.
agree with
But
that.
I
I
enjoy it when
completely
a story
agree.
feels more wholesome than when it started, especially because a lot of these have ruined family dynamics. A lot of these power fantasies don't focus on it. If they do, it's minimal, and like this one actually makes you feel like these guys care about the kid, even though they also sort of act like he's the like uh what to say, like the one shot, you know, or whatever.
Oh, what do you mean? What about all those stories where the little sister makes the food for the older brother?
Little sister who?
Oh, like in Your Town is Mine or Solo Leveling or
Your town is
all the
mine.
cute little
Oh, your talent
all
is
the
mine. I was like, your town is mine. What?
or even in a Super Evolution, the big sister dropped out of college to provide for the old younger brother.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They all do this kind of thing, the family's always wholesome.
No, the family is usually sort of painful wholesome. It's
Uh,
rarely actually wholesome. This one, they
yeah.
actually seem to care. Yeah, I guess in those, they seem to care, but like, it's not the focus. In those, the family shows up because it's convenient. And they only show up every like 40 chapters to remind you that, oh yes, this MC in fact has family. Like, I. And it's usually like they show up and they're like, oh, I've decided I want to help you. And the main character's like, no, you must not help me. It's dangerous out here. And then they're like, oh, but if you have to help me, then I guess I'll like give you this level 5 alchemy book and like all these advanced level potions that I grabbed while killing my enemies, you know? But I don't. I solo leveling, yes, there is a family. They don't show
His
up
mom
much.
was in the
His mom
hospital.
was literally in a
He
coma.
saved her.
Yeah, it was
Whoa.
nice, but I couldn't relate. I imagine few people can actually. For a mom being in the hospital for like X amount of years, and then someone drip feeds a potion into their mouth and they become healthy again. I don't know how many people in the world can relate to that actually, but like I I can't say any more about solo leveling without just straight up revealing like the major end twist, can I? But I feel like it became wholesome during the end. That's all I can say, I guess. More wholesome, rather. But no, I don't like those. Yeah, the family's there, but for most of them, it's a convenience sake plot point. It's not explored as much, and then sometimes it's not explored at all. Like I forgot the name of the thing. What's the snake guy one? How did I forget this one's name?
Or no, Odyssey?
No, we haven't reviewed Odyssey. It's the What's the one with the snake guy? How am I remembering this? Fuck. Try not to remember. Brain suffered brain death. Well, we reviewed one at one point with like a snake motif. You know, where the guy's like thrown into a bunch of snakes. What's that one called?
Okay, now I get it.
When I was reincarnated by
Dri
throwing myself into a
Drifting
snake pit.
Moon.
Yeah,
Reaper of
that
the
one.
Drifting Moon.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so you know the snake one. So yeah, you know, you make like 40 chapters of like him having relationships with his like fellow compatriots, and then they all fucking die, so it doesn't matter. What about that one? It was wholesome, wasn't it?
Was that one
No,
wholesome?
it was wholesome, right? Then they all fucking
Uh,
died. Wouldn't you call that a twist? Or would just be like, oh well, they always have dynamics, so I mean, it's just par for the course.
I don't really think it's a.
I would count it as a twist.
Uh,
If we count all these as being
yeah,
roughly
that's
pulled from the
fair.
same, cut from the same cloth, I would argue it's a twist. And I would argue, like, for example, uh, I'll try to find one that we have read. Uh, I don't remember most of these, honestly. I mean, we could even look at, like, Return of the Disaster Class Hero for one. Uh, up until the point that we had read it to, you don't really know anything about the main character's family. Does he even have family? And then you know that his like best friend has a son and a daughter, but you don't really know much about him. And
And
like,
then they
yeah, there's like a
care for
dynamic.
him.
Yeah, but it's very superficial feeling, isn't it?
So, why does it feel superficial?
They just it's like inherent.
Inherent
You don't
meaning.
see them in your sense, right? And forgive me, I may be understanding this incorrectly, but you've said during Doctor's Rebirth that you like if you don't have chapters where the people are interacting, then it's not a real bond or something. I'm paraphrasing heavily. I don't remember what you said. But I know that in Doctor's Rebirth you were like the relationship between like the demon clan guy and the doctor young dragon whatever isn't like real because he only showed up like 3 times even though they feel like brothers to me.
It's not just about like the amount of time, screen time. It's like
Uh-huh.
they had to have a real moment where like they chose for non insincere reasons to like be together. Like in the beginning, the main character of Dr. Traverse
Uh-huh.
was totally befriending the demon guy for purely selfish reasons.
He was. I will agree. He did.
And then the entire relationship was built on top of that.
But somewhere there it warped into wholesomeness, I feel, I would argue.
Where? Tell
Off
me the
screen.
where.
Off screen somewhere
Off
where we didn't
screen.
see. But at some point they became wholesome. I don't
I
know.
I think it's completely imagined.
I liked
Like
it.
based on what the story had written down,
It was
those
implied
two
wholesomeness.
implied how?
Through the actions
Because
of
the
the
other guy
character.
gave the other guy a gift.
I mean, the gift. He's looking out for his or his older brother, I guess, in the weird hierarchy they've established.
Their entire relationship was built on
They're
fraud.
like pen pals.
Like pen.
You hear about your pen pals, right? You know, in like 5th grade, you like write to some person in like some other country. I did not write. I
Yeah.
didn't do this, by the way. Sorry, couldn't relate. But you know, it's just like pen pals. Okay, I have hold on. Do you think the ones in Heavenly Inquisition Sword, the relationships built with the bandits, is insincere then?
No, I do think that
You
this
just
one is
think
wholesome
that
and cute.
the ones built with his like blood family are just as important for some reason.
No, that's a different talk. No, that's not about any of the friendship and family stuff. I just think that the story was really gearing up in the beginning for that kind of where the
I
focus
feel
would
like
be
this
around
was
those families.
clear exposition, and at some point we were gonna get to the actual bit.
Well,
Because this
exposition means
family
that
wasn't
those
gonna do anything besides weigh
people.
him down. And yeah, you can even have less exposition on these characters, but I feel like they chose to do that because, I don't know, they made you feel better or worse. Like, they're less static cardboard characters. I feel like it was a good thing, but I don't think it was, like, particularly, you know, here are these characters, they're going to be around for the entire novel, and then they're not, and we're like, ah, fuck, you motherfucker. I don't think it was that, though.
What if the girl was like, "I'll protect you," after everyone was like, "She doesn't
She's a
speak."
kid.
Yeah,
Kid
was it not an
promises.
important moment?
She's part of an abusive family. What the fuck can she do? In the end, she can say she'll protect him, but there's
It's not
nothing
about
you
the
can actually
realism. It was
protect.
about the importance in the story. This
It
is a
is
freaking
about the
fantasy
realism,
story
though.
where no, this is a martial arts world where people summon dragons to freaking claw the ground.
The... Listen, I don't have a great family dynamic myself. I enjoyed this one, okay? That's all I can say. Maybe
I
only the
I
abused
I
can
think
understand the abused, okay?
no, I understand how they had an abusive story into a redemption into a wholesome family, and that was a nice transition. I just thought that maybe they shouldn't have put so much like setup in the beginning towards a different story.
I don't think it's a different story, though. I feel like they're just gonna go back to it at some point. And then we see, like, his siblings, but they're all grown up, you know, and maybe they don't even recognize him. But how the fuck can they not? He's the only person in the world that has red hair, apparently. So his family, rather, I guess. Uh, except for Himiko. Maybe Himiko will. Maybe Luke will show up. You know, we don't know.
It just feels very
I
like
feel like it's good setup though.
they've never seen him for 10 years. Like I feel like
Right?
if he went back, it would be kind of
He's not
like
gonna go back. I imagine the way they'll
or
meet
if they
is like his one of his brothers. I don't know. Is probably sent to subjugate the clan or something. I imagine that's how they would meet.
what
I don't think he'd go back willingly. He doesn't consider them
I'm not
family.
saying that there could have been that this was not foreshadowing for a future engagement with them, but it was certainly a very heavily exposited thing that they kind of just threw out.
I feel like, personally feeling that it's just gotta have more chapters. I uh, I hate to bring this shit up again because I feel like
No,
you
I
hate me
agree.
hearing it. It's like Denma. Okay? It gets better with time, okay?
No, do you remember how in the previous review we were talking about how the the merchant palace man,
Uh-huh.
he like
You didn't
the
like that
guy
there
was
was
like,
like an arc in between?
well, it wasn't just that he was said that he was going to go visit him, and then he didn't.
He I still don't think that's a bad thing. I like I still don't I still don't see the issue with it.
It just kind of ruins
Didn't
the
ruin the flow for
flow of
me.
intention.
Things
I don't
happen really
know.
slow, okay?
Like, what
Like
if in Promised Neverland
he
they saw
said
Connie died, and
he
then they just
told the
played
guy.
tag for the next 50 years?
Wait, sorry, what
Like,
series? Who is
in
playing
Promised
tag?
Neverland, like, what if they saw Connie died? They're like, we're going to escape. but instead they built like a fortress and tried to kill people everywhere, and then they escaped. Like sometimes
I mean, honestly,
an action implies the next action.
maybe. I mean, if they had spent the next 50 chapters digging their way out with spoons, I would have taken it.
No, that would be their actually acting on the thing that they said, because they'd be trying to escape if they were trying to dig out. But what if
Right, but
instead they're just like, let's have an arc where we freaking, I don't know, try to marry and then have a romance
right, but
arc,
you forget
like.
that this guy is the demonic young master. He has duties, even though they're sort of shit, to like still like visit people and do his own shit. It just so happened that this time he met some frail, addicted to drugs guy, and that guy became his right hand man.
I
Like,
mean, that wasn't even really his duty, and he chose to like not do that. Like I feel like let's not even think of like I don't know, he has duties. Like the author put in the story, he was going to do
he
like
declared that
he
he
said
was going to visit the Merchant Palace, but he didn't actually say, I am going to the Merchant Palace tomorrow. Like, didn't he say, tell your, like, master that I will be visiting him? Or something?
yeah.
That does not
And then
imply tomorrow. It can happen in the next month or so. He's just saying, I will be there at some point
no, I
to confront
my
you. I feel like
point
there's good.
my point is not about the realism. Not like oh yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna debate the dynamics of oh yeah, I said one thing and that could mean this X range of things.
So it's
What
not
I'm
about the
saying is the
realism.
author.
However, the plot needs to flow towards that direction now that he's declared it, huh?
Yeah,
I don't think that's how that works, though.
I
I
think
feel
there's
like
a
it's more
difference.
fair and the story flows better if it doesn't just single-handedly go towards the goal like that.
This is not a linear story. The guy
They rarely
declared he
are.
was going to go.
He declared
Like,
he was going to go, but he didn't say when now, did he?
okay, now you're thinking that's the realism. That's the realism argument.
What's wrong with the realism argument?
No.
This has
I'm not
become
saying that these
somehow
are competed.
not an argument. This
You're
is
saying so
47
your
minutes of us
argument
talking
is
about
that
not this show. Should we
I'm
go
just
back and
saying
review the thing?
it's
We can argue this another time, I feel. I'm saying for the sake of the recording. Uh,
okay.
we want to just go and rate the thing. We can
Sure,
complain
let's rate
about,
this.
we can argue about this off stream or not. This isn't even streamed. I don't know what I'm talking about. Off call or off recording call. I just feel like maybe if people actually come here to get a review on this thing, they're not getting it. It's been
I mean, they
47 minutes. I
rarely
feel like
do.
we've maybe talked about it for less than 15 minutes. What do you mean, and they rarely
They
do? I
rarely
feel like we
do.
actually usually do talk about it. Hold on. We usually actually get to some
Uh,
amount of talking about it. This one we just talked about, to my fair admission, complaints about beginning after the end took up like 20 minutes, and then Honkai Star Rail derailed it a bit, and then, this thing was the last 25 minutes. Yeah, we've talked about this thing for like
there was
less
one
than 10 minutes, I think.
podcast, the one with the Graham. I think there was like 30 minutes on One Piece
The one with the what?
with Graham. Anyhive.
Okay, yeah, we had a guest though. Feel like if the
Oh, so
guest
then that's
derails
okay.
it, then it's fine. Because, it's an excuse. We've got a guest on,
oh,
they want to talk about their shit. Like,
oh.
Winton talked about magic for like 20 minutes, alright? We let him do that too, okay? And then, early on, we talked about the lottery. Why do I bring this up? It's funny, okay. Okay. The art of this one is very good.
Yeah.
I would say it is quite incredible. It is, of course, a Reed-Eye special. Therefore, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10.
I agree. It's 10 out of 10.
Wonderful. So good that we could be on the same page, because we're not going to be on the same page going forward, it seems. Uh, the story, I felt the story was fine. I sure, maybe I'm applying the realism argument, okay? Sure, maybe I'm just maybe I like this sort of like
I I don't
adoption
think you
story
understood what I meant
better.
by the realism argument. Uh,
I
let's
don't think we'll
continue
understand
though.
it if we keep going. I'm gonna review the thing as faithfully as I can because it doesn't seem like we're gonna come to a compromise anytime soon. Anyway, I like the story. I enjoyed the story. I feel like the story will continue to be better and actually wrap in the characters that we're complaining about, that you're complaining about, that have like gotten too much exposition but won't show up anymore. I feel like they will come back, just not now. It's it's another Denma feeling for me, where Denma only made sense in the last like 200 300 chapter mark. And that's it sounds bad, it really does. Even in the Crazed Era, I was like, it only gets good after 40 chapters. Overgeared. I read that thing for like 500 chapters. It got better after 200 chapters in. Like, it does sound bad to say that, but maybe that was just like weird storytelling. Like in Denma in particular, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Denma's like a really short comic, right? And it's like a 4 or 6 panel comic. It's very short, each chapter. So you really don't get that much understanding of what's going on ever. But at some point, probably around like 150 or 200 chapters in, everything starts connecting. The author legit starts connecting plot points from the very beginning, and it's never made more sense so fast. I I really like that one, but you know, maybe it's too slow. Maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe at some point, I'm sure Denma said he was gonna do something, and then he didn't fucking do it. But anyway, the story, I liked the story because I felt it was wholesome. I am going to give the story an 8 out of 10 because I personally enjoyed it. What will you give it?
So the story is basically the beginning, the training arc, um, him randomly beating up bandits, him beating up merchants, him beating up the elder, then then they go into a tournament arc. Or in between the tournament arc, we see a little bit of the full storyline with the big baddie. Hmm.
This feels like Omniscient Reader all over again. I feel like every time it's just
It's
me trying to defend something I like, and you're like, but why do you like it? You don't understand. It's bad. And I'm like, but I like it. And you're like,
I have my
uh,
opinions. I can say I don't like it. What's wrong?
no, yeah, you can. I just disagree about this one particular progression linear shit.
Well, I don't like it, so.
No, yeah, no, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, and I will fully admit it. I am going to rate this as highly as I can, so we don't give this a fucking solid 6 out of 10 like everything else we give. That's recently deviated. I feel like somehow we've gotten recently more harsh with things that we actually don't like.
Yeah. I think the story was fine. I'll give it a 6.
Alright, I better see you rate those characters really shit after all this shit
I
talking.
didn't say I hated the character. When did I say I hate the characters?
I'll actually edit this thing and I'll comb through all like 50 minutes and find it like you saying like I and then hate and then like character and then I'll like mash it together and be like, all right, there's the soundbite, there's the one. It's like when people are like, they're like, when did I ever say this? It's like, no, you didn't technically say it, but you did say it, you know? Like at one point in your life, you have said I and then hate and then characters, you know? And maybe it's from like a year ago, but I can probably outsource that shit and I'll find that. I'll find it. Don't you
Uh-huh.
worry.
Uh-huh.
If there's one thing I'm really good at doing, it's doing things out of spite. You
Uh,
wouldn't believe how much things I've drawn because I've seen something online that gets like praise and I'm like, well fuck, if they're getting praise, I can do that better. Like legit, that's just how I feel. Like if someone puts something out there and people are all fawning over it, but I feel like I can do something better. But the thing is, I always try to make something that I feel is better, and then inherently it gets no love because I don't have a social media presence. But that's a different story, I think. I like the characters. Do I like the characters? I like some of the characters. I don't really care for the current arc, honestly. The current arc's sort of meh. It's a tournament arc. I don't personally enjoy tournament arcs, so I don't really like the arc.
wouldn't that be part of the story and not the characters?
Well, no, I'm talking about all the characters that they introduced, though.
Oh,
Like,
like
if I
the
don't
12
care about
demon
any of the,
generals.
yeah, the 12 demon generals,
Yeah.
the random girl with
The
leaf
daughter lady.
shuriken, yeah, I don't really care for that.
Is it a girl or a guy, actually? Is it his son or his daughter?
I'm pretty sure in the latest chapter he said my daughter's missing, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Pretty sure. But it's sort of the character is androgynous when we meet him,
Yeah.
so we don't really know. It could be either or. You know, until they confirm it, it's their kid.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the characters are cool though. Like the one demonic general we see, his abilities are pretty neat. Like I don't think I've ever seen abilities used that way in particular. Maybe ever seen is rough. I don't think I've seen much where, his like whole thing is like deploying pillars essentially. I feel
Uh,
like usually they just like hold out their hands and cast a spell. It's usually how it goes when they're like trained in demonic arts or something. Or it's usually always like body strengthening techniques. I use this thing, it makes my skin glow brown and like magma colored and my eyes bulge on my head as I become like a demon. It's usually that shit. But,
yeah.
you know, poison's cool. Neat. They seem cool. I haven't really seen much of them. Honestly, it seems like the Vandans are the most wholesome part of the story so far. Which
It's
is
God, yeah.
crazy. Maybe this is a social critique. Maybe we should all start quitting our jobs and living in the mountains. Probably not,
Huh?
actually. Wait, you didn't want to do that? You didn't want to feel the urge to do
Oh,
that? Did we get like the TikToks and such where it's like people living self-sustainably off their land? Maybe not.
yeah.
Okay, moving on. I Characters were fine. 7.
I agree, 7.
Okay, well, I still can't do math, so I'm gonna go to Google. Dear Google. Uh, so this is what 10 plus 8 plus 7 is that
10 plus 8 plus 7?
25? Nope, 10 plus 7 plus 7. Is that more correct?
Yeah.
I uh I misread it. You were so quick to remind me. Incredible. You're not even the one who's got this shit put up, I feel. Do you keep track of the scores we give?
Uh, I just
Asking because I
vaguely
feel like
recall.
you remember more concretely than I do. But then again, I have like a shit short-term memory at the moment.
I can remember things short term. I can't really remember things like midterm or long term.
like you still remember them. Like, if I asked like what we gave Daughter as the final boss, I feel like you could tell me more than I could tell me.
No, definitely not.
Okay, never mind. Well, I also don't remember what we gave it though. Uh,
Wait, that was like our third one. That's like super long term.
I don't know. It was only like half a year ago. A year ago, technically, because we like didn't fully continue this thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, no, frick. That was well.
Like a year ago.
Like if you asked me about freaking worthless regression, my daughter's the final boss, or what was the first one we rated, frick?
The first one we read was Worthless Regression. The second one is
Oh,
Daughter is the final boss. Third one I don't remember.
but I thought the first one we rated was taken down.
Yeah, that's Worthless Regression. It was taken down.
Oh, I really? Oh, frick.
Yeah, no. I used the artwork in the thing, and I guess the studio didn't like that. Got taken down. But that's bullshit. Because there's people out here uploading the full fucking chapters. How are they not getting taken down? I don't
They
understand.
must they must be doing something to the images to avoid the algorithm.
It's either that or it's usually that like their titles don't make sense. Like for example, me, I tagged it with like Worthless Regression and like web novel and webtoon and all that stuff. But a lot of those, they just
Oh.
have like either it's like leet speak, where they just like have substituted numbers and stuff, or it's just like
Uh,
it says like WR part 35 or something. And you just have to guess based on knowing that the channel exists to look for it. Right? It's like looking for like anime
ah.
clips when anime clips are sort of outlawed at the moment, or like they can get DMCA'd and taken down or whatever. So you're like looking for like Naruto fights this person. You search it up, but the title's in like Portuguese and you don't really know what it means, and the subtitles are in Spanish, but like you watch it anyway, you know? That sort of thing. That's my personal feeling on it. Anyways, this came
Dude,
out to be a 8 out of 10 apparently.
yes.
I expected worse. Fuck, maybe we should have Winton on every episode so I can like give everything a 0 again. That's sort of nice actually. He was so brutal with it. It felt
Who's very based
like
about it, honestly.
way more jarring than any of our scores, honestly.
Like I'm kind of nice. When I think of something as average, I give it a 5. He was like
0.
his average
Did you want me to
is
go
like
negative?
yeah.
It's like so
uh,
he didn't like it apparently. Apparently if he didn't like it, he just doesn't give it anything.
yeah, not even a single pity point.
Yeah.
But I think he has a different basis because he's used to reading stuff he really likes, and then he read something that probably most people take a little bit of time to get used to.
No, I feel like the Challenger was like not that bad. We could have really had him read like a real shitter, you know?
You know, he's coming from reading stuff like
Does he read?
Komi-san can't communicate and crap like
Oh,
that.
that's
Yeah.
right. The fucker does read a lot of like nice slice of life shit.
I mean, he also reads a bunch of like action stuff.
Pretty sure he reads
But
Final
he's
Fantasies as
probably
well and watches them.
does
Pretty
he?
sure. He knew about
I think there
he
was.
knew about the I reincarnated as the like vending machine.
I think that's because it was funny for him,
Yeah, probably true. Fair enough.
and I think he really likes Japan's sense of humor. So if you read stuff like The Challenger, where it's not really about,
Weird Korean humor, maybe more so.
I don't know, like they don't even have like the
It
weird
got
funny
faker.
reaction images.
That's about it.
That's true.
No, they had funny reaction images. He just didn't read
Oh,
far
they
enough to find
did.
them.
That's true. Oh yeah,
Like
he
you
only
had
read like 9
to think them
chapters.
over, and then it was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
there they are. And then he amended his score for like one more additional point.
Uh,
So really got him there. What are we reading next, by the way? You get to pick one.
let's
Go
read.
and pick one that you think is good, surely. Or,
I think it's
pick one that
the
we
ones
both
I
think
pick
is
I've
bad.
never actually read.
Hmm?
I always pick ones I haven't read.
Well, I feel like I've read more than you at this point, but there are a few that I haven't read as well. So find something fun.
This one's really long. Frick. Okay, what about the S classes that I raised?
Oh fuck. No. Fuck. No. Wait, really? Oh,
Got a really high rating.
fucking damn it.
9.9,
All right.
followed by
Change the
105,000
title.
people.
The
Look,
S
they even have a little mascot,
classes
little fox
that
thing.
I
Woo.
raised. Oh, fuck. I didn't like reading this one. Uh, it might be different for you. It's
I
got
don't
a
think
high
I've read a
rating.
single one that I've ever read
Surely
besides
these
maybe like two.
105,000 people really have good opinions. Surely. I didn't. It. It goes into comedy too hard. But that's my opinion. I don't like the super overly comedic ones. I thought Lowuji was comedic because he killed people too much. Uh, maybe I'm too fucked up in the head to think about these things more rationally. But
Luigi was objectively incredibly funny.
it was, yeah, it was incredibly funny. But it was also like just every chapter that was funny was just him being like fuck off, and then he like flicks his finger and the guy dies. You know?
Oh no, but the person always does something that's just so like
So
it's so
horribly
minor.
egregious. Like, hey,
No,
you bumped
sometimes
into me on the street, your family must die, you know?
no, they always do something that's like negatively like connotated, but it could be something from like oh you like forgot to pay me back, now you die, or to like oh you tried to kill my family, you die. Like sometimes it's like it's always something like just ever so slightly like oh that person did something wrong, and then they die for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't
There's
know.
something magic about him not giving a shit, I think. Even though the story did not make sense. There was something magical about it, and nonetheless. It's like a
It's just
Saitama had no morals. It's like punched every, like, hero to death. Well,
every time he killed someone, it didn't feel well, it felt justified if a little bit excessive.
wait, are we talking about Saitama or Luigi?
Luigi.
Yeah, it did feel justified, to be fair. Though you could wonder, couldn't you just, like, leave him off with a warning? The answer would probably be like, no, he'll come back with his whole family and try to kill me, and I'll have to kill more people. But his family will still come after me, even if I kill just him. So, you know, what we're doing, delaying the inevitable. Anyway, that's been Heavenly Inquisition Sword, even though it's not really been Heavenly Inquisition Sword. I apologize to anyone who listens to this until this point. Hopefully, you got some sort of review out of this. I personally would say go read it. Uh, I liked it, but yeah, if you have critical opinions on this shit, slap in the comments or something. I feel like every comment we've gotten so far on the channel has been like people saying the webcomics are shit, go read the novel. Which is fair, okay? Listen, I understand the webcomics are shit. That's why we're reviewing it. It's to look for the gold mine out of the shit, okay? But like, yes, objectively, the novels are better. Anyway, if you get to this point, leave a like if you truly enjoyed it. If you don't enjoy it, then don't leave a like. I don't know. Subscribe, but only if you mean it. Right. See you again. Do you have any other comments? Maybe we resume the argument.
No,
What do you
let's
feel?
no.
It's been an hour and 10 minutes. You keep going.
Meh.
It's your choice. Do we keep arguing?
Let's end off the stream. Yeah.
All
Woo.
right, sure. Well enough now. Next week we'll come back with the S classes that I raised, and we will continue arguing about the Crazed Heir. All right, we'll see you then.